Hey, what's up, everybody? And no, this is not a troll. This is a legitimate. I'm actually doing this video. I'm here to give you guys my review for Breaking Bad Season 4, Episode 5. The last time I ended up reviewing Breaking Bad was back in the summer of last year. And yeah, it's been a while since I've reviewed Breaking Bad. Um, I obviously apologize. I didn't really mean to fall out of doing these reviews, but I just been so busy with school and um, doing all these other types of videos that I never really had time to. And since the Walking Dead videos are going to be on a hiatus because what happened with that was when I recorded them on the DVR, somebody deleted them, and I have no way to watch Season 8 until it goes on Netflix. So, yeah, so I was thinking like I need a substitute for that, and I was gonna do Breaking Bad afterwards anyways, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And this year I'm not really stressing as much as I was last semester with school because I'm actually in a better place with school. I'm doing very well, so yeah, I'm gonna be putting back the Breaking Bad reviews. This is gonna be the same case though with The Walking Dead as it was. This most previous one when I reviewed it. They won't happen. Um, they won't happen all that often, but they will happen. Um, I'll review. I'll review as many episodes as I can, but I'm not gonna time out exactly how many episodes I'll review. So yes, I am gonna be reviewing Breaking Bad because I've wanted to finish this show. I really should have finished this show probably 3 years ago, but obviously I got behind with school and other things like that. So I'm hoping I at least finish this season this week, but we're obviously gonna have to wait and see what happens with that. Um, so I'm just gonna kind of say everything that happened in this episode. Um, and yeah, if you want to know what happened in the other episodes in this season, click on the playlist that I'll leave in the description box below if I remember. So let's talk about this episode. This was after the episode where Jesse was kidnapped by Mike. Well, sort of kidnapped. He was kind of in the car willingly with him, and we didn't really know what was going on with him. So what ends up happening was and I am going to explain how I'm going to break down this review is since there was kind of multiple storylines going on in this episode, I'm going to kind of review it kind of in order. I'm not going to review the episode in order. I'm going to kind of talk about the storyline all at once because then if I don't do it that way, then the video is just going to get very sloppy. So that's how I'm going to do it. I don't know if you could tell, but I was under the weather yesterday, and I'm not really still feeling the effects of it. But you could kind of tell my voice is not one still kind of sounds off. But I definitely feel better than I did yesterday. But let's get right into the episode. The episode is called Shotgun, which obviously becomes a very fitting title when we get to once we actually hear the episode. And this episode came out on August 14th, 2011. And the episode starts off with Walter, and he's driving like in a huge rush because he knows that Jesse's in trouble. And we didn't really know at first where he was driving to. But he's calling Saul, and I think he has a feel. He asked Saul to leave Skylar all the money just in case he doesn't make it. And then he calls Skylar, and it goes to voicemail. And then he leaves a voicemail telling her and the kids that he loves them after all that's happened, which I think because he thought he was going to die. So I just got a text. I'm not going to redo the video, though. But yeah, he is afraid it pretty much is like he knows he's not going to make it. He pulls out his gun. the illegal gun that he bought in episode 2 of season 4, and then it cuts to the theme song, or the intro, more of an intro than a theme song, and it shows Walter arriving at Los Palos, Gus's fast food restaurant, and he goes in the restaurant. A worker comes out to try to take his order, and Walter demands that he speaks to Gus, and the worker tries to tell him, whose name was Cynthia, tries to tell him that Gus isn't there, but Walter thinks that she's lying to him because his car's parked out front. So he demands that she goes to get Gus, and he'll wait for him. So he sits down at one of the tables, and the woman goes to get Gus, or so we thought. I think what we were supposed to have thought is the camera peers down on Walter, and Cynthia was talking to another worker that probably thought Walt was insane, and that he was obviously she knew he was going to do something bad to him. So then Walter gets a call from Mike. Mike knew he was there, so Mike asked Walter what the hell he's doing, and Walter asks where Jesse is, and Mike says that Jesse's fine. You don't have nothing to worry about. And obviously Walter doesn't believe him, so Walter demands Mike to put Jesse on the phone, and then he puts Jesse on the phone, and Jesse doesn't really give him a lot of information. He just kind of tells him that he's going north, but he doesn't exactly know where he's going and what he has him doing. So Mike just tells Walter that he's going to have to do this cook solo today. And then that was pretty much the end of the conversation. And then Walter tries to go back to Gus's office, and Cynthia tries to stop him. And then when Walter goes in his office, you see that Gus isn't there. And yeah, that was pretty much what happened there. And I love this scene a lot. It really built up the anticipation. You actually thought Walter and Gus were going to finally go at it. And I actually like that they're building to that, because we obviously know that at some point it's coming, but we just don't know when it's coming. So I actually like that scene a lot. And then, so like I said, this is kind of when the storyline breaks down into two parts. Yeah, so this is when the storyline kind of breaks down into two parts. So now this is going to be kind of where I cover one of the parts first. So I'm going to cover the part first with Jesse and Mike going down and doing their journey. So we were supposed to have thought that the whole reason Mike had kidnapped Jesse was to kill him. And Jesse had thought that, and Jesse gives him a warning that if you are going to kill me, you better shoot me straight, or I will slice off your other ear. And Mike pulls over at this abandoned place, just out in the middle of nowhere, and he goes into his trunk, he grabs a shovel. Jesse pulls out his keys like he's going to hit him, and then Mike digs out money that was planted there, and we find out that Mike's been doing pickups. And Jesse was surprised about this. I was surprised about this. So Mike and Jesse, so this kind of becomes a recurring thing where Mike and Jesse go do pickups, and we're not really sure why Jesse's there. Jesse at first thinks he's there to be Mike's backup in case he gets junked by anyone, but Mike says that that's not what he's there for. And Jesse's like bored to death. They show a montage of Mike doing these pickups and Jesse being absolutely bored to death. He goes into an abandoned building. He also goes to he goes to an abandoned building. He goes to other places, and Jesse's thinks that he needs him because he's the guy to help defend the place, or defend him if he needs a big job. And Mike pulls over and yells at him, tells him that you're not the guy, and I don't really know why you're out here, but I'm just following orders. And um, Jesse too wasn't allowed to smoke on this trip. So Mike pulls over to another building. He goes to get other money, and then a guy comes over with a shotgun, like he's gonna attack Jesse and rob Mike. And Jesse backs his car into the other guy's car, and he drives off. The guy with the shotgun shoots him, and Jesse ends up driving away and escaping. And then Mike um, tries to get tries to call to get picked up, and then Jesse ends up picking him up anyways. And Jesse tells him everything that happened, and Mike tells him that he was a hero. And um, then Jesse goes to smoke, but then realizes that he can't. And then Mike tells him, "Go ahead, kid, smoke up. You own this one." Well, he doesn't say you own this one, but that's he implies that anyways. And then that was it. But I like this stuff that happened with Jesse. It was kind of a nice little twist because we thought that Jesse was going to end up getting murdered and that was going to lead to this big death, but instead that's not what happened. He was treated like a hero. And doing all of this, Walter was stuck cooking the meth by himself, and it shows Walter doing it throughout the video camera that's in the lab's point of view. And Walter realizes that it's not a two-man job because he doesn't know how to work the forklift and he doesn't know how to do any of this other stuff. And it's just not a two-man job. It's not a one-man job. He needs two people. So he refuses to do anything else until he gets his partner back. And then Gus's new guy comes in that looks just like him and starts to help out Walter. And I think this was to send a message that we don't need that they really don't need Jesse. Walter can do this job with anybody. So I did like that part of it. And when Walter comes to work the next day, he sees that Jesse is there, and Jesse reveals that Mike dropped him off, and he tells Mike that he was doing pickups, and he said that he was going to do more pickups because he has two jobs now. But then we find out when Gus goes to take out the trash at his restaurant, Gus gets into Mike's car, and we find out that Gus set up the whole attack with the uh, the guy with the shotgun to make Jesse feel like he was a hero and to make him feel like he had a purpose. I don't know what the purpose was for, why he wanted Jesse to feel like a hero yet. I don't know if that's going to be further explained. But I did like that. I guess maybe it will kind of get Jesse out of his depressive state because he was just physically depressed. But I did like that part of the episode. And then so that was pretty much everything that happened. It was those were kind of like the main storylines that happened in this episode. Everything else was kind of like a subplot, kind of. But I like the main stuff that happened in this episode. I feel like it sets up a lot of big stuff. And then Walter and other stuff that happened in this episode was Walter and Skylar signed the contract and made it official that they now own the car wash. And Skylar makes Walter swear that promise her that there's going to be no more secrets. And Walter promises that there's going to be no more secrets, which he's already kind of broken that promise because he hasn't really mentioned the situation with Gus. And then Skylar plays the message that Walter left in the beginning of the episode, and then Skylar and Walter have sex, and they're back together again, which was a nice touch. I thought that was a good, happy moment for them to be back together, and yeah, I liked that, and they have and we see and Skylar's asking her to come to dinner with Hank, and we can kind of see that they're back together. And when Walter Jr. comes home, Skylar realizes that he's going to start to ask a lot of questions, and then Skylar asks him to move back in so that way it would be easier to explain to everyone why they're back together. And well, Walter leaves at first without giving an answer, and then when Walter's there the next day, Walter Jr. tells Walter that Skylar told him that he's moving back in on Tuesday without consulting Walter about it, so I'm assuming that's going to lead to some future conflict there. Walter Jr. was also drinking coffee out of the cup of Ted's company, which was obviously Skylar's boss, who she was sleeping with in the past two seasons. And so obviously I like that stuff. And you could kind of, and then at the end of the episode, Hank was going over the case of Gail Gibson with that cop. I forget his name off the top of my head. And Hank reveals that seeing Eisenberg dead is closure to him, so he doesn't want to be part of the case anymore. So Walter Jr. asks about it, and Hank reveals that he doesn't want to be part of the case anymore, and he starts to question Gail's genius. He talks about how he is this great genius, but he should have been putting his genius towards something good versus meth. And Walter, who was tipsy off wine because he had been drinking, and also I think his ego kind of got the best of him, reveals that Gail could have been copying his work off somebody else without saying that it was him. And this leaves Hank suspicious, so this makes him look at the case again. And then we find out that, and this leads Hank even more suspicious, that Gail's supposed to be this vegan, and he's eating at Gus's restaurant, Los Polos, and that's a place that serves fried chicken. So obviously, that kind of leads to something there. I actually like the ending because it looks like it's going to set up something with Hank and Gus. So I like the ending a lot. I thought this was a great episode. I thought it really set up a lot of stuff. I kind of like the stuff they did with Jesse. While they probably how they made us think they were going to get him killed off, and then they had that whole setup where they made him look like a hero. And I just thought this was a great episode overall. If I had to rate it, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And now I'm going to watch the next one, so that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure you guys tune into the next video for that. But to do that, you need to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell, so that way you'll get the notification to watch that next review. And make sure you guys also subscribe to my CM Brothers channel, and that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.